Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Junkanoo 242. It is another Saturday morning and we are glad to be here with you. Good morning to our beautiful family islands. Good morning to everyone. It is Junkanoo 242. Arlene, how you doing this morning, man?
Good morning. How's it going?
Man, the weather looking a little tricky. It's looking a little tricky, Ali. I don't know if we should get the costumes out and see what they look like out the shack now, because when you wake up in the morning, it's windy. By 10, it's sunny. Then in the middle day, you just don't know. So I don't know what's going on with the weather.
Man, I only got one little breeze up here. We going.
What? You gonna go in the breeze?
We going. It's a light breeze. We going.
A light breeze. Morning, Chairman. How you doing down there, man?
All is well, man. How y'all feeling?
Man, they say it's March and your costume up in the air, Chairman.
I tell you, like, my costume was up in there from January. I get all leaves and branches this long.
Sound like a plan to me.
Right, then you all laugh. Then you all see you on the media. Y'all gonna be like, oh, he was talking nonsense.
Yeah, March, boy, look here. God rest the dead. By March, Bubbles would have been in full swing. I mean, full. We would have been hiding costumes up here if I was having any kind of birthday celebration. We would have had to hide costumes up here.
Well, folks, we are here another Saturday. Arlene, before we go any further, because I think this topic is going to get people exciting this morning, I need you to bless this episode, especially good with the Junkanoo prayer this morning.
Yes. Please say it for me. I don't have my stuff in front of me.
Chairman probably have it up now.
No, I don't.
you all sinners need to stop.
No problem.
You all sinners need to stop.
I got it. Heavenly Father, for the gift of life, we give you thanks. For our nation, we pray for peace, prosperity, and principle, recovery and restoration. For ourselves, we pray for wisdom to use your gifts wisely, especially the gift of Junkanoo, so that we may honor you, serve your people, build better communities, a better Bahamas, and a better world. Amen.
Amen.
Proud to be Bahamian. What's happening this morning?
Well, in case you didn't know, the Proud to be Bahamian moment from my perspective was this week was a national holiday. I don't know if you celebrated it, all right? But I had a national holiday and congratulate. Well, we was congratulating, one of the living legends that is among us who celebrated her birthday this week. Man, what do you mean?
Huh?
Listen to me. When I started seeing those celebratory happy birthdays to Arlene, I was dancing.
What birthday was this week?
Yeah, what? Boy, you better.
I am still saying thank you.
Listen,
no, I don't toot my own horn.
Now, Darren, this how funny life is.
Yeah.
Tell me she had big party last night. She didn't invite me, but I know she invited you.
I wasn't there.
I don't know if she invited you.
Yeah.
They had a party, break curfew protocols, and I had a party over at 3 o'clock this morning. I wasn't invited to the party. I don't know if you were invited to the party. I come to grow upset this morning.
You see how fight to start? I need to talk to the person who tell you that.
No, Mike. I'm sworn to secrecy. I want to know the party.
Yeah.
I want to know about the party. That's what I want to know about the party. I want to know about the party.
Listen, I don't want to know about the party.
Hold on, Darren. No. That explains itself, Darren. Don't you rush this conversation, Darren. No, this morning, the
party was Wednesday. The party started with a school at Educulture to do a Junkanoo workshop. The party continued in the parish church of St. Mary the Virgin for my birthday blessing at the 12:30 Mass. The party continued at the fish fry with a big bowl of conch salad and conch fritters. And the party continued at home for a nice quiet night with only me, Sil, and Jade here. Boom! That's it.
Four events, Darren. Did you invite to any one of those 4 things?
No, sir.
I know I like conch salad.
Hey, I would even take the museum tour. You know what I mean?
I don't think I have a problem going to church, you know.
Next year when I go to church on my birthday, God willing, I'm taking
too late. Don't think with me after you don't have to take. No, that's all right. That's all right. Keep your marbles. I didn't want to take any out.
He swell up. He swell right up.
Yes.
But seriously, thank you all so much. It was a very quiet, beautiful day. I celebrated the big 72. Very quietly, and the way I like to do it without anything really being planned. And so I just thank God for good health and long life and a brain that keeps working and ears and eyes, and you start to appreciate all these things that you took for granted most of your life. And so yeah, thank you. I am particularly grateful for the people who recognized it. I'm still saying thank you on Facebook. I'm trying to answer each one individually. Wow. And I am so grateful that there are hundreds. And so I thank God for good friends and for people who remember and who care. And the only thing you pray for is that when it is their time, you remember and you return the good wishes. So yeah, that's about it for March the 9th. Hey. And of course, there's a whole posse of people born on my birthday. And so we call ourselves the March Niners. And so I hope they all had a good day as well.
Well, in case nobody told you, I want to tell you thank you. And I wish you a very, very happiest and a prosperous new year. You've done so much for my life in terms of being a mentor, a teacher. And also, I want to say thank you on behalf of the country, as I consider you a very foremost nation builder. As you continue to celebrate this birthday, I am not concerned so much about the party, but I am concerned about where's my cake. That's about it.
Yeah.
I still mad. I want my conch salad, man. I still mad. I get.
Boy, he's a mess.
I driving up the other day. You better have it by 1 o'clock.
He's a mess. But listen here. In the midst of all of this, this wonderful celebration, I have to say that, I'm sure many of us have heavy hearts because over the past few days we lost a beautiful young lady who decided to take her own life, and that is weighing heavily on many, if not all of us. And I just want to offer condolences to her family and to all who loved her, and to just say that we are in the fight to prevent this from recurring, and whatever we need to do as a country to make sure that sad, tragic event does not happen again. We all have to be enlisted in that army.
Yeah, it is very, very sad and tragic. And truth be told, there probably are a lot more people in our country who are feeling the burden of despair and loneliness and helplessness. Mm-hmm. And not just in times like this, but I guess this is our time. This is our focus to be a little bit more empathetic toward people.
Yes.
To broaden our shoulders a little bit more, if we can, to give them a little bit more space on our shoulders to cry on.
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
Because sometimes the people whose shoulders are being leaned on need someone to lean on themselves.
That's right.
And it goes right back to the fact that we have to all be our brother's keeper.
That's right.
If we hold each other up, then everybody gets held up.
Amen.
So That's probably how we have to look at it. That's the value of community. That's the value of family. And that's the value of being who we are called to be.
Amen. And you know, we all belong to so many different families, you know, our church family, our school family, but we also belong to our Junkanoo families. And so, you know, I just want to encourage everybody, check on your people, make sure everybody all right. You know, just a quick, what you say, man, how you doing? Everything all right? And just, you know, the left hand don't have to know what the right hand is doing, but people who are in need, we need to identify them. Sometimes people are just too proud to say what, you know, what kind of struggle they are enduring. And so, just as you said, for us to be empathetic and be conscious of the fact that there are many people who are really hurting badly. And so we continue to pray for all of them, and we'll certainly do our part to identify and to help. And we thank all of the Junkanoo groups who have been doing that. We've been seeing countless photographs of Junkanoo groups that have been distributing food, that kind of thing. So, you know, and sometimes you don't have the money, but just like you say, leave space on your shoulder for somebody to cry. And hopefully we'll get through it without another tragedy like that.
Yep.
Well, folks, we're going to run to our first break, just like a nation builder. We telling her happy birthday, and she's concerned about everybody else's day. That is a true legend right there.
She's trying to distract from my gum sound. That's all. And I'd pick up on her now.
You see the play.
And I'd see the play.
We are running to our first break.
I see that coming before I break the corner.
When we get back, we will introduce you to this exciting topic that we have lined up to you. We'll be right back. You're listening to Junkanoo 242.
Oh, Lord. Let me try to get on Facebook now.
You see what going down, babe? Them jokers running free. You need to go report what you see.
Me? For them to clip me next?
I ain't saying going to police directly.
Wait, what you talking about then?
Call Crime Stoppers Bahamas. You can tell them directly what's going down.
Wait, Crime Stoppers is the police, you know?
No, my boy. When you call Crime Stoppers, they just answer your call in Miami or Toronto, Canada. So no one can know it's you. And you don't have to give them no personal information, because they just give you a pin.
Wait, what you talking about though?
They got their own system down there to get the information where it need to go. I just saying, if you ain't got nothing to lose, you might as well get these jokers off the street.
True, and so Crime Stoppers is the one that's give you plenty money for that hot news, eh?
Yeah, and if you help the police with the arrest, from PIN, you get some marlins. So I just saying, win-win, my boy.
So what the number is, though? Free up the number.
Do the right thing. Stop the crime before it's your time.
Bing.
Call Crime Stoppers Bahamas today at 328-8477, or from the Family Islands, 242-300-8477. It's safe, and the life you save may be your own.
This public service announcement was brought to you by Crime Stoppers in conjunction with the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
Respect the sign. When vehicles without an accessible parking permit use a parking space designated for persons with disabilities, even for just a minute, that's 60 seconds too long. The abuse of accessible parking spaces is a daily frustration for persons with disabilities. It is inconsiderate, insensitive, and hinders persons with disabilities from effectively conducting business and actively participating in community life. Never park in a space reserved for people with disabilities unless you have a permit to do so. It is the right and respectful thing to do. This message is brought to you by the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, a unit in the Ministry of Social Services and Community Development. For more information, visit www.disabilitiescommissionbahamas.org.
From the Junkanoo archives on the Junkanoo timeline, the year was 2016. In conjunction with the JCNP, the Knowles family introduced the Paul Knowles Diamond Award for choreographed dance in honor of this outstanding Junkanoo who had introduced choreographed dance to the parades. Another interesting notch on the Junkanoo timeline.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to Junkanoo 242, and the E-Shack is wide open this morning. And this morning we're going to have a very interesting conversation about, I'll let Darren say exactly what the conversation is about, but it's really going to be a provocative conversation about something that we actually love. Go ahead, Darren. Introduce our topic for us this morning.
Well. All the parading, all of the preparation, and it all comes down to how it all will be judged. Today we're talking about the state of the judging system. The good, the bad, the indifferent. What is the state of it now? How are judges selected? What is the process? Can you be a judge? At the end of the day, are they held accountable? Do they do the best? Is the training informative? We're talking about judging. That's what this conversation is about this morning.
So let's start that. How are judges selected?
Well. First, from I know it, what happens is, go ahead, Arlene.
No, sorry. Forgive me 1 minute. I have an unstable connection. I want to work something. Go ahead.
Okay. What happens is, the judging process goes through the floor of the JCNP and its representatives, and it is decided on the type of judging system that is going to be used in the upcoming parades. Before in the past, we've seen whereas we call specialist judge certain categories in terms of people who are certified in dance, would judge the choreograph section, or you would have people who are we have credentials in music would judge the music section and other categories. And that selection is done in terms of, from the floor is, do we want to go with what they call qualified judges, or do you want to go with what it's called Junkanoo Public, where you send an application for somebody to be a judge, they present it, they're vetted, and they if they make it through the training, then they are selected. Or you can have a combination of both, whereas you have a selection of qualified judges and a selection of Junkanoo Public judges, and those there's a percentage as to what percentage that this weight carries for the qualified, which percentage this weight carries for the public. And once it is decided on what combination they're going with the judges system, then the process goes from there.
So that starts at the JCNP level.
Correct.
That discussion happens there.
That is
then
correct.
help me to understand what is considered a qualified judge, or who is considered to be a qualified judge.
Sorry, I missed it. Did you talk about how we select the judges?
That's what we. Yes, he just mentioned that.
What is considered a qualified judge is there is a criteria, and that criteria there is a criteria in terms of music. There's a certain level or merit that has to be accomplished in terms of with experience in that music category. All right. I'm not a musician, so I can't tell you what the level is, but this is in the standard operating procedures that they use. It's in the same thing with dance and various other categories. So there has to be a level of attainment in terms of, let's say, a bachelor's degree or a stage, or I think it's called different levels in music that has been attained, that you have to at least have that to enter inside the pool to be a qualified judge.
So help me here now. Forgive me because I missed just a minute or two. Let's start at the very beginning. The system that I thought was still in place, that I know was being used a little while back, was a system whereby the JCNP put out the request, the invitation for people to apply to judge in the various news media, right? Mm-hmm. and then you fill out your application and you submit it.
Yes, that you are correct, Arlene, in that. You are correct in that, but there was also another option that was presented. That's using just what we call John Q Public, right? Just the public judges. We also had parades, whereas we had qualified people, or what they call certified professionals judging certain categories. But what Darren asks is how do we get to which system? Do we go totally public, or do they put in qualified judges? That decision is made.
I just want to make sure that everybody understands the system that was in place, because from what I could recall, so you apply and then all the applications are received, and then the Junkanoo groups have the option to vet the judges. And so you are supposed to put on your application form whether you have any affiliation with a Junkanoo group. And of course, you are not going to mention your second cousin, Artie, this rush with this group in the back line. So, okay, you don't mention that.
Well, but you mentioned that you rushed with a particular group last year.
Thank you. There you go, closer to home. And so the Junkanoo groups have an opportunity to vet the judges. I believe the A division, because I don't think the B could care less, to vet the judges. And then once they are selected and confirmed, my understanding was that they were assigned a number, and that night before the parade started, numbers were drawn for judging in various categories. So in other words, this is why I brought it up, because you were talking about professional judges now, and I need you to make the jump from here to there. And so they would pick the numbers. Okay, these are the people who judge in group costume, and they would pick those numbers at random out of whatever, and those are the people who are assigned. So the impression I got was that it was totally random, and that it was hit or miss in terms of whether or not you had expertise in the area that you were being assigned to. So now tell me what the difference is in the system now. Has that changed?
No, that has not changed. What you just described was if the decision is made to just use John Q Public judges. You put out that application. Remember, there were parades where we had musicians judging music category.
Right.
There was parades where we had people who were certified in choreographed dance judging choreographed dance. All right? Now, what I'm saying to you is that in the past few parades, the vote has always been to use the John Q Public. All right? But there is an option, whereas they could have used a combination of what we call qualified judges in certain arenas, where you could just have qualified judges as judges, or you could have a combination of qualified judges and John Q Public. Lately, we have been just using the process of John Q Public, and in that process as to what you described.
So, okay, right. So presently in Junkanoo, it's random. It's the public applying with not necessarily any skills whatsoever, and they are randomly selected to judge different categories in the parades. That's where we are now. My question is, and we've been going back to Rory's comment from He Said It. My question is, does that need to fix? First of all, when he said, let's use this time to fix Junkanoo, does that need to fix before we get to Bay and the competition and the parade again? That's my question.
Chairman, you want to chime in?
I think it boils down to exactly the training that anybody gets before they are able to judge. As we all aware, the judges go through a training process. And if there's some concern about judging or the quality of judging that we are getting or not getting, then we have to look at where it all starts from. It starts from how we have been trained, how the judges have been trained. And based on my recollection, what has happened in the past is that all Junkanoo groups are able to and correct me if I'm wrong, Farrington, all Junkanoo groups have the option of sending a representative to teach on any number of topics, correct?
That is correct.
At the judges training. So if I'm from one family, I can ask to present on costuming or music or whatever. Say if I'm a Saxon, Bali boy, whomever, anybody can come, make a request to make a presentation once I guess it fits into what the JCNP requires, and that can be done. In my mind, though, because I've had an opportunity to present, for quite a while, I think at this point we need to really look at our training, how we are training the judges. I think that has to be a more rigorous exercise. I think it has to be a lot more interactive. Definitely a lot more interactive. I think we need to
explain that. I don't understand that. What you mean when you say more interactive? Explain that. Presently, like you say, they take a 6-week course or whatever it is, and Junkanoo groups. Now, hold on. When Junkanoo groups go in to assist with the training, right? They are usually collaborating. Like it ain't Darren Bastian saying what one family does. No. But you would have gotten together with representatives from other groups and come up with a comprehensive preparation, right?
Right. So let's just say if it's 5 people from 5 different groups, then what we will do is we'll meet as a team. We'll decide on what we as a team want to present, and we build the presentation and then we present together, or we can have one person present. But all of that decision is made fundamentally by the team. Yes.
Okay, so we can come back to selection, because we want to hear what would be the ideal recommendations for selection. We've already moved into training. Okay, so based on your experience with the training, help me to understand when you say that the training must be more interactive. What does that mean? Right now, they're in from what I could recall, a church hall. They're at tables. I don't know if they've been assigned to tables if the tables represent groups or whatever, but they are groups as in that room, not Junkanoo groups. They are sitting at tables, and whomever is at the front is presenting. Okay, in my case, it's the history of Junkanoo. I don't deal with specific categories per se. It's just to give the judges the background as to what Junkanoo is. So you are judging, you judge on performance. I mean, you present on performance or costuming or what?
Performance and execution of theme.
Okay, so
and
tell
we've done
me.
That in the past, that has been primarily me, Peter Gilcould, and some other members from other groups.
Yeah. So
this is really what I would like to see.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see this for every module, and I'll tell you why. I'd like to see the presenters from the groups present what they have to present, and then I would like to see, not the same night, on a different night, the judges present back to us. That way it gives us a better understanding of what they truly understand. We then get to ask them questions on something that they have been trained on. And I think that sort of raises the bar relative to the level of knowledge, and also it makes them it can possibly make them a lot more accountable. One, right? There's always this issue after a Junkanoo parade about what did the judges actually see? How did they give this costume, best costume over that. When all the Junkanoos know that costume A that won shouldn't have won because it was tricked out. It was hardly pasted. It didn't meet the requirements for the rules, but it won. So then, how do you beat that? You then give the judges, and I've been saying this for about 4 or 5 years. If I had to do costume, I'd do it totally different. I would then teach the judges all of the tricks in Junkanoo.
Teach the judges what?
All of the tricks in Junkanoo. This is what you look for. If I'm trying to trick you, this is exactly what I can do. I can put all the pieces up there way in the air that ain't pasted. They ain't pasted.
Bring your step ladder.
Right? They ain't pasted, but they look good. Right? Then I can put a bunch of big styrofoam heads where I don't have to paste, but it look good. And the little pieces down here, what you see pasted, wow. Then you have to be able to evaluate things like that. Because I mean, because a Junkanoo goes on base, you say, "Oh, that's sick, but it's not the same basis, no cost, their basis, more than." Right? Right? So those are just two of the things that I would definitely implement right away.
Chairman, you opening up a can of worms now, because that takes me back to selection.
What do you mean?
What I mean is some people just have no artistic eye whatsoever. You may have an eye, you may have an ear for music, you may, but some of us don't know. If you put a famous painting here and a child scribble here, some of us don't know the difference. What I'm saying is,
that's the value of education. Before you were educated on certain topics, you didn't know.
Exactly. Yeah. What I'm hearing Darren saying is that, correct me if I'm wrong.
Agree or disagree?
Yeah, the training needs to be a little bit more intensified in terms of it gives you a specific outline or guidelines where it almost certifies you in different arenas that you'll be judging. To help with that, for instance, if let's say somebody is on that night is selected a number to place to judge costuming, in that training, there should be an outline that shows them here's the mechanics or the what is the basics of costuming in Junkanoo, how they're made, what are the materials, but also too, what are the core components you're looking for in terms of whether it's fringe crepe paper or fringe paper, how it's all done. So you have almost like to say, in costuming, here is the outline of a Junkanoo costuming. And from that framework, you're able to judge, the costume module.
Well, yes. When we come back from our break, we are going to talk about it, because the point I am making is this. If I'm being asked to judge a mathematics competition or a science competition, you could talk to me till the cows come home. That is not my strength. And I am only going to understand but so much. And so anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, on that controversial note, we are going to our first break. And when we come back, we will continue this spicy conversation. And of course, we want to hear from you. If you are in our family of islands, please give us, if you are in New Providence first, 325-540-34 or 5. In our family islands, 1242-300-8255. And of course, our Facebook posse, good morning. We are always thrilled to have you there. Let's hear from you. We'll be right back.
You hear on this radio station is governed by IRCA's Code of Practice for Content Regulation. The Code of Practice covers matters relating to program content that are of concern to the community, such as local content, news, current affairs, and programs for children, advertising, including political advertisements, and the responsibilities associated with broadcasting in the Bahamas. The code also covers aspects such as access services for the hearing and visually impaired, and the procedure for lodging a complaint about anything broadcast by this station. The code is available on the IRCA website at www.ircabahamas.bs. To receive a copy of the code by mail or in person, you may telephone IRCA at 242-393-0234. Family Island dialing is toll-free at 1-242-300-8722. Or you may send a request by email to info@ircabahamas.bs.
The Princess Margaret Hospital Blood Bank is in urgent need of blood donations of all types. Blood bank hours of operation are as follows. Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. The last donor will be accepted at 4:30 p.m. On Sundays, the blood bank is closed. Identification needed for donation include your NIB card or driver's license. Do not attempt to donate if you are sick or experiencing respiratory symptoms. Do not come to the blood bank in large groups, as we will be accommodating 3 persons at a time. For more information on how you can become a blood donor or instructions on what to do before coming to donate blood, please contact the blood bank at 502-7822.
The Junkanoo Library filed under A for awards. On one Junkanoo 242 show, the suggestion was made that all awards presented at the Junkanoo Awards dinner banquet need not be parade related. For example, we might want to present an award for community outreach by groups in the future. These and other interesting questions will be answered as we commit to moving Junkanoo forward to be everything that the creator intended. Our Junkanoo. We're so proud of it.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You listen to Junkanoo 242, and the E-Shack is wide open. Interesting point, Darren Darren, and I totally agree with that. And we started to have this conversation about how we can enhance or improve our training for the judges. And my position is let me teach them, and then let them teach us what they know. But Owen has an interesting point. He says, why haven't we activated the Junkanoo Legends Circle to participate in our judging our parades? These are persons who have achieved the nation's highest honor for excellence in Junkanoo for a myriad of disciplines. The training is done and have already been embedded in those individuals. I think that's an excellent point. Arlene, you're on mute.
As Arlene unmutes herself. There you go.
Yeah, sorry. That is an excellent point. And Sadira is saying exactly what I was going to say. You know, the teachers think alike. We need
oh boy, Darren, you're in trouble.
Let's hear it for the girls. we need a training manual. Even if it is revised every year, we need a training manual. These things should be in writing. And we have to move forward. You should, even if, you know, from the time you consider judging, the manual should be available so that everybody knows what is expected. And so yeah, I totally agree. I was just about to say exactly the same thing. I think we have a caller on the line. Hello, good morning.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And everything, and seems like I'm a stranger to the show.
Lord Valley girl, that ain't you though.
She's stuck in the Christmas you ain't here to say.
Valley girl, you leave us defenseless, girl. What you saying?
Since the Valley resigned, she resigned from the show.
Trying to know. Later had insomnia, couldn't sleep day and night. Then after that, I never pick up COVID until the 2nd of January, and I get it, God no.
Oh my.
And wash my hand and do all them things what the people say you're supposed to do. And then I get the job. I got the needle.
Oh, Valley girl.
I was so, I say, my God, and this thing, and me and my sister tested and we had it. It was me and my sister, not the rest of the family now. And then we stay home, only church I was going to. I definitely ain't get that from church. But you know something? I know, see, in the Christmas I didn't want to see Santa Claus. I gone out shopping and I think that's why I got it. Even from that, I okay and I still love y'all. I still love my Junkanoo people. Nice talking with you all this morning and let them listen to the teacher with the judging process of this Junkanoo. And let me tell you something after Junkanoo can't move on. If those people that go and get their job and think Junkanoo would have done been on bakery long time.
Amen.
Joking this time, we got to rush to the street, man.
Amen.
Like watching on street now. I don't go like that no more. But I like watching on TV. I watch it on television. I stay home and relax and watch it on TV.
It is so good to hear your voice, Valley girl. We are so glad that you are on the mend. And listen here, don't put us down for so long again. We can look forward to your calls regularly.
Yes, and don't forget my birthday the last Sunday. And March the 3rd, like you all take me out the system.
No, child, you know your March. People ain't gonna forget you.
Boy, Bastian, that sound like more cake.
Birthday there, and hello to lovely white birdie dog and Android. You all have a blessed day, and you all always remember the Valley girl love you all.
We love you too, Valley girl. Thank you for calling. What a treat. Thank you for calling. Yeah, so Laddie is saying, I would rather be judged by retired Junkanoos and John Q. Public than by a trained musician. They know Junkanoo music just as well as anyone else. Well, Laddie, what about the three categories of people? Retired Junkanoos, coupled from the public, and trained musicians. Can you live with that?
He's simply saying he prefer to be judged by a jury of his peers.
Yes. And so, yeah, and Owen's point is very well taken as well. Very well taken. Yeah, so to me, you know, I keep going back to the selection of the judges because to me, that's the foundation of the whole thing. And now we get now into the training, and Darren is making some critical points, and Sadira's point is a brilliant one as well. We got to have a manual. That's something we could fix in our downtime. It's only March, and we have until the training starts, usually like September or October. And you know, let me just throw this right in here to you two April fellas.
Yeah.
There is only one.
Be very respectful how you approach us. Now, being guided accordingly, proceed.
There is only 1 month of the 12 that gives you a directive, that gives you an imperative. March! And so let us...
I already see why I told you. You see why I had to say what I said, right?
Yeah, I got you.
Let us follow instructions. It's time to march.
March on time.
Think we just play mess with us.
There's a lot in terms of you alluded to the point of a person having an artistic eye or being able to decipher certain things, and this is where I think why your training is so critical. When you're judging a particular area or a category or anything or modules, there's supposed to be an outline as to what you're looking for. For instance, if you're judging something from a science category or anything category, there are confinements and parameters as to terms of what you're looking for, I would think, in that training, So when, quote unquote, you're released to judge this contest, you have the information as to say, these are the parameters that govern this. I agree with all of you in terms of a module and a training manual is needed.
We have but, some absolutely brilliant comments.
It goes back to the point of what we alluded to when we did the series on what is a Junkanoo costume. You can't have a manual if you don't have a definition of what of these things we're looking for. You can't just say
that is what the manual forces you to do.
Exactly.
To define everything and to lay it out.
That's where I think, you know, it needs to happen.
But even with the manual is fine, and I totally agree with that suggestion. So after we have this manual,
yes,
I still want the judges to prove to me what they know.
Yeah. Yeah,
definitely.
No question. The two things are not, absolutely. And Moses is asking, would their age, health, and mobility be a factor? And that's an interesting thing that we never thought of, you know, because that judging, that judging process is a grueling one.
At least 16 hours. At least
up all night.
At least 16 hours on your feet.
Yes. On your right, and that is an excellent point. And I wonder if they have to present a health certificate before they are accepted. That is another point. We need to write that down in our list of recommendations. And Blair is asking, if there is a manual, will it be like a Bahama Host manual where you do various modules? And at the end, you have certification. And secondly, will you have manuals also for the junior Junkanoo parades? Now, that's only a recommendation that we can make because the junior Junkanoo parades fall under the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture and the National Junkanoo Committee. But we can certainly fix, you know, we can certainly try to fix what we are in control of. Some excellent comments.
Definitely. So y'all go ahead.
He is saying you can even include a virtual tour of the shots. Just brilliant, man. As a part of the course. I mean, we are thinking, well, of course we are Junkanoos and we think stupid. We don't think normal. So we putting all of these down.
I do like the comment and the suggestion that Bastian made in terms of, you know, teaching them the like we call the tricks of Junkanoo. The things that, you know, that bling, that don't mean it's where it's supposed to go. Just because it look ruffled don't mean it fringed. You know what I mean? And so all of the things, I feel as though that's in your certification in terms of and in your information. It actually, that's that interactive, taking them and actually showing them physical costumes and actually showing them the process on how costumes are constructed, so they have a better appreciation for things that are coming at them. And it's just, it's just pretty. I think what it adds to is that in costuming, you have to show them the bare necessities, and also you have to show them the various different stages, so they have that appreciation through that process.
And I'll tell you something. All fun and jokes aside, when I looked at, I sent a greeting to your birthday, right? And and I think it was Silver. He had a picture of one of your costumes. I can't remember which one it was. Tiger.
Fire dance. Fire.
It had the green feathers on the end.
Okay. I thought it was fire dance. Sorry.
Right? Somewhere. And I looked at it, right?
Yeah.
And I smiled. And sometime later that day, I got to see, somehow I was looking at something and I saw another version of a costume called Junkanoo, right?
Yeah.
There was a stark difference between your costume and this other costume I saw.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what the difference was.
Please.
Your costume started out being pasted.
Of course.
Right?
Yes.
And the feathers we use to enhance what you have.
Not hide.
Not hide or not create.
Right.
Right?
Right.
You're very coming from that.
Yes, I am.
This other costume, to me, seems like it started with feathers.
Yes.
And ended
with feathers.
And then in the middle, we had beads and we had tricks.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
And there was a stark difference.
Ah.
And that answered the costume. That supported our argument. One is a Junkanoo costume, and the other ain't.
Yes. Yes. Oh, Darren. And I thank you. Well, I'm old fashioned and I ain't gonna let the old flag fall, and don't ask me what flag. But I have to say, my first awakening as to the fact, and we ain't gonna get back in this, but this ain't what we're discussing today, but my first awakening to the fact that Junkanoo is, in my mind, in trouble. This is only Arlene talking. In terms of costuming, was when Angela did her festival that January a few years ago, and I went down there, and because you're in the parade, you don't see the parade. And when I walked through and saw costumes, I just realized they were just, as you say, so very different in many cases from what I had been accustomed to. And I just felt like we are watering the parade right down. When you go to Educulture and you turn on the televisions, so the visitors can get a feel for the parades. There are so many times when I wouldn't say I am embarrassed, but I am building Junkanoo right up, and then you see these half-naked people dance across the screen, and it's just, anyhow, that's another story for another time. Let's get back on topic. But thank you so much for your compliment of my costume. I'll let Sil know.
And I tell you, and it goes. I said that to set this up. So, if I am a judge, or we're teaching this judges module, right, or we're creating this module, and this manual for the judges, then we start first of all with things like that. This is traditional. This is not. This is how this is our standard.
Right. This is not right.
This is our standard because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 elements that cannot be changed or shouldn't be changed because
now you're talking,
right? And then you have all of these other things, right? We say, well, do each one of these meet the standard for judging, say in this case, costume?
Yeah.
This one has 4 out of 10, that's no. This one has 3 out of 10, that's a negative. This one has 6 out of 10.
Excellent. You put it on a scale. Excellent.
Put it on a scale. So after we have done that, then after we have taught them, then you know what I can do. When it's time for them to teach me, I can be extremely, what's the word I want to use? I can be tricky. You know why?
Why?
Because I'm going to grill them on every single thing down to the detail. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to want every judge to be able to defend their score.
Yes. And not hide behind anonymity.
Exactly. Because I want, if Darren Bastian judge presentation of theme and whatever, and I give somebody 8 out of 10, if they say, well, Darren, how come I get that at 2, boss, you ain't get that at 2 because da-da-da-da-da.
Right.
I have to be able to defend my score.
There you go.
And to me, that brings back a lot of integrity into this thing called Junkanoo.
Very
I'm
much
sick
so.
and tired of going to Bay Street and hearing, he got penalized. Why he got penalized? Well, they obstructed the parade, but nobody was behind them.
Oh, sheesh.
You understand where I'm coming from?
It was ridiculous. How could you obstruct a parade if nobody behind you?
So for me, if I was the judge who said, I'm marking them down for obstruction, I am going to video. This is why I am marking them down for obstruction. There's a parade, there are groups behind them, can't move. This is why I gave them negative whatever I did.
Now, you have ventured into the realm of the penalty judges. So we'll call them the minus judges. The plus judges are the ones who are judging regularly. The minus judges are the ones who are judging who are assessing the penalties. And for me, that is a completely different training from the training that we give to the other judges. I think it's when I say completely different, it includes what the other judges got, but they have to have additional training in dispensing penalties.
Fine, but the fact of the matter is they're trained. There's a reference manual.
Shouldn't
and there's accountability.
But shouldn't all of the judges get the same training? Even the extra, even the penalty training, they should get too.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that because it ties right in.
See, I only could penalize if I know what a penalty is. All right, so I only can judge properly if I know what is against the rules. Also, that helps with my whole comprehension of how I perceive something. You see? And what the complaint has been for a lot of people and for a lot of years is, for them, they don't feel the people sitting the course have either the acumen to either judge them, or the training is not comprehensive enough for them to properly, give them scores.
See, and let me tell you something. I don't care what anybody says. When it comes to talking Junkanoo, quite frankly, I ain't gonna talk to everybody. Right?
Truth.
I ain't gonna, based on what I'm talking, what we discussing, I ain't gonna talk to everybody. And I don't say that to be disrespectful, simply because certain things you can say, some people may not necessarily understand.
Yeah.
Or not necessarily be able to relate to. So I don't say that to be disrespectful. That's just what it is. Right? But anyway, you have to go to our break and pick this up on the other side. On the other side.
You saw Larry take the money off the teacher's desk.
Yes, Mom.
And you told the teacher.
No, Mom.
Why not?
Because Larry might want to be my friend no more.
Honey, Larry did something wrong and you need to tell an adult. You may feel bad, but it is important that you do the right thing. Nobody has to find out that you told.
Okay.
Small crimes lead to big crimes. If you see a crime, you can call Crime Stoppers. It's safe and easy, and nobody knows who you are. You'll speak directly to someone in Miami or Toronto, Canada. They never ask anything about you. So be brave and do the right thing. We all need to help. Stop the crime before it's our time.
Guess what, Mommy? I feel good because I told somebody about Larry and the teacher get our money back. So pick up the phone. No one would never call you a snitch.
Call Crime Stoppers Bahamas today at 328-8477 or from the Family Islands, 242-300-8477. It's safe, and the life you save may be your own.
This public service announcement was brought to you by Crime Stoppers in conjunction with the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
This Saturday night, before you go to bed, the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas reminds you to set your clocks 1 hour ahead. This Sunday, daylight saving time begins at 2 a.m. So remember to set your clocks 1 hour ahead.
Examples of excellence. She has never worn a Junkanoo costume, yet some who know would say that her contribution to Junkanoo is greater than many who dance on Bay. Dr. Gail Saunders' passion for history led her to a pivotal role in the establishment of the Department of Archives, and in 1978, its exhibition on Junkanoo was the first time that Junkanoo had been placed in an academic setting. Because of her pioneering work in the researching of Bahamian history, we now have the story of our ancestors and the role that Junkanoo played in their survival. We can never say thank you enough to Dr. Saunders for her outstanding contribution to the Bahamas, and the Junkanoo community is indebted to this quiet, modest lady whose contribution to the preservation of our historical heritage is unmatched. The eminent Dr. Gail Saunders, this week's inductee into the Junkanoo 242 Shack of Excellence.
Oh, wow, that's powerful. Tribute just now.
And she's celebrating her birthday this week as well.
This week. Oh, so she's in March as well.
All them, they coming, even the time change. Huh? Even Arlene celebrate one birthday this week. I get an announcement on ZNS time changing Sunday. What the?
Hey, Darren.
March.
We trying to get rid of them. Change the time.
Don't get a march. Follow the instructions. March.
So, Arlene, let me ask you this, right?
Yeah.
And why is the history of Junkanoo even relevant? Or, well, first of all, is the history of Junkanoo even relevant to the judge's cause?
I think it is important for them to understand that this goes far deeper than a parade and a competition. I think, as Jackson would say, they need to see what they're looking at. You know, they need to understand the compulsion that
what does that word mean?
It is the force that forces us, the force that compels us to take part in this ritual every year. They have a sacred trust to be fair and to be honest. The little boy in Mason's Addition, the little boy in Taylor Street, the little boy in Chippenham, the little boy on Montrose Avenue, not a one of them should feel that they are in any way disadvantaged because of who they are affiliated with, or where they come from. The judges have to understand the role that they play in affirming the fact that the Bahamas is a nation built on merit. If you deserve it, you will get it. And that goes right back to our history and the long road that Junkanoo has taken us on from we were in chains and was still strong enough to celebrate. And so they need to understand what they have signed up for. It's so much deeper than just judging a parade and just judging a competition. That's my take on it.
So what you're saying then is that they're all tribes around one campfire, and everybody can be equally, can all feel the warmth of that fire equally.
Yes, yes. And the other point that I always make as I conclude is this. I want them also to understand, and maybe this is said in other areas of the course, but I always end with this. And so that's my point about honesty and integrity and the importance of you exercising that with a clear conscience when you judge. The other point they need to understand is that to a great degree, they influence the future of Junkanoo, of the parades. Let's put it like that. Because, and the classic example, I'm not really beating on anybody. I'm not picking on anybody, but the classic example of this is when the Valley Boys brought the Freedom Fighters with the styrofoam heads, which were against the rules of the parade that said that everything had to be paper, and the judges, if they had had the kind of training you are describing this morning, they would have known and understood that what was way up in the top there was not paper, and they would have understood that, and they should have been maybe not disqualified, but penalized for that. But instead, the judges obviously said, boy, they pretty, eh? And they won the parade. And from then to now, every Junkanoo group has been spending hundreds of dollars on getting styrofoam, just thousands of dollars getting styrofoam heads and hands and everything else, wood and whatever, carved because the judges made that error on Boxing Day. I think it was 1980.
So they saw what they were looking at, but did they see what they were looking at?
No, they didn't see what they were looking at. They were looking at infractions of the parade rules, and they didn't see that.
And that changed the course of Junkanoo as we
right
know
away.
It.
As we know it, right away. Right. And so the judges got a sacred, I call it, responsibility.
And since that time, we have lost the skill.
And now you bring me to another thing, which is when we used to make those heads out of wire and cardboard, a uniquely Bahamian skill where you were able to shape features. Man, we could buy styrofoam now and carve it. Ain't nobody doing no face out of cardboard and wire no more.
Okay.
We have lost that.
How relevant is maintaining those skills such as that to what we do? Because I only come to judge who come first, second, third, or fourth. I ain't come to defend nobody's skill.
And Darren, we don't expect you to. What we expect you to do as a judge is abide by the rules that were given to you. That's all we asking you. We're not asking you about skill and all this. You don't have a clue. But you should have been able to say they're not paper. You should have been able to say that as a judge.
To answer your point, Bastian, directly, that point is what you made, I feel, in my opinion, sits at the feet of the organization of the JCNP. I feel as though when rules are crafted, they're supposed to be crafted from what is the objective as to what we're trying to preserve, nurture, and also protect. You understand? So when you create a rule, you're supposed to, those core things you're supposed to be asking yourself when you create that rule. And I say it over and repeatedly. You should not have a rule that does not do those things, because you're going to, quote unquote, destroy what you call sacred. And I could list a few of them. You understand? That has actually been enacted, and it's not living up to a mandate. You understand? Similar to that.
I don't care about the sanctity of any rules. I care about who look good.
No. From a judging standpoint, I agree with you. That is not, like Arlene said, that is not your job. You're not there to do that. You're not there for that.
This is where I disagree with John.
Go ahead.
That's why I disagree with you. Because if the judges are the gatekeepers, they are to defend every single thing based on what's in that manual.
The judges,
every single thing. They should know it well enough.
I agree with you, right? To a certain extent. But like what I think what me and Arlene is saying is that the judges don't set the rules.
I didn't say, but the rules are
they don't set the rules.
The rules are a part of that manual.
I agree with what you're saying, but they don't create them. The onus
understanding the rules is a part of what's in the manual.
And they have to abide. They have to know the rules, and they have to abide by them. Simple as that.
So you're agreeing with me then? So
yes.
As long as it's in the manual, quote unquote, that's the Junkanoo Bible.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Anything outside of that, I have to defend. I have to abide by.
I
absolutely
think
right.
What is being lost, I'm not saying that they're supposed to skirt the rules or not know the rules. But what I'm saying to you is that who creates the rules?
The Junkanoos create the rules.
That is who is responsible. They have the responsibility of making sure.
Let me hear the end of that. Of making sure what?
They have the responsibilities that the rules that they put in place actually does what it says, that it lives up to preserving these unique things that we call Junkanoo.
Yeah, that's a different. Yes, we agree. You were talking about the crafting of the rules. Yes,
that responsibility is not on the judges. The judges are only there to carry out what you give them.
Yeah, right.
Two different functions.
The point that Arlene made was whenever this parade happened, the styrofoam heads were against the rules.
Correct.
Yes.
It was an infraction.
Right.
So then my point is, if the judges had done what they were supposed to do,
yes,
which would have been protecting the sanctity of the rules,
right?
Then that would have not happened.
Right.
Crafted it, I don't care.
Yeah.
But once it's crafted and it's there,
yeah.
We ain't moving 2 points to the right.
They did not abide by the rules. Yes.
We're staying in the middle of this.
Yeah, they did not abide by the rules. Simple as that.
I agree with what you're saying there, right? And that's where the organization, quote unquote, did not step in and say that an error was made. You understand me? We watch sports and we see calls are being made, and we see the organization come in and said, no, this is an error. After reviewing the play.
It seemed to me, the JC, I don't think the JCNP wasn't even around then. That was a different situation. So anyhow, let's leave that. But so now that brings us to another point. I don't know if we want to open this can of worms right at this point, but our time is going. What the system allows for now is for groups to protest. So if there's a ruling that you feel goes against the rules, or you were unfairly judged or something, you have the option now. You got 24 hours, whatever it is, 48 hours, whatever it is. You have the option now to prepare a protest and to present your case before an independent review
IRC
committee. Right.
So let me ask this question, Arlene. And Darren, I hope I am asking this right. Maybe, just maybe, should we have somebody that is very neutral, that totally monitors this parade? Neutral. Somebody's neutral.
Yeah, absolutely.
I see infraction A here. I see infraction B there. I see infraction C here.
Yeah.
Right? And all they do is report, They don't mix with the judges. All they do is report.
Yeah.
So when the lead costume, as an example, when the lead costume scores come in, if this, I call them the standard committee, right? If the standard
that's a good name.
Say I've seen 8 infractions in lead costume category. So when the lead costumes come in, you can look at, okay, I see 8 infractions, but I don't see them recorded in the lead costume scores or whatever, right? So they know there's going to be an issue here because the standards committee has seen something the judges didn't see, or they didn't record, or they didn't account for. Maybe that's a thought.
You are almost talking about a second level of judging.
No, it's a second level of accountability.
Okay.
You brought up the point about should groups be able to protest, right, Arlene? You brought up that point.
I said what I said. The mechanism that is in place now for groups to make their voices heard is the protest mechanism that happens after the parade. The unofficial results are given.
Yes, but I feel as though that process needs to be amended. Why? Because like Darren says, with his standard committee, what that protest mechanism does is it causes the judging or the penalties to have an accountability. Like he brought up the point of, let's say out of maliciousness, you have a penalty judge that is just malicious to a group and says, hey, you went over the time, I'm slapping you with a 10-minute penalty. What is the recourse for the clock keeper of an organization who has the clock that says I was not over 10 minutes. Hence that process that comes into the protest process. You understand? What it makes them to be accountable and also to validate what they're doing. You see what I'm saying? It's the same thing with an obstruction or even a clawed penalty. Where are the pictures? What are you penalizing me for? Now, here's the thing. The thing about it is not only do you need the process to be valid, but you gotta have the mechanism that the organization that governs these parades does what it takes that the right call is made when an error is made. You can't just sit back and say, oh, this is it. No, you can't sit back. If an organization is unfairly penalized, you need to take those penalties away and put right where right is. You can't just say, oh, the penalty didn't call. No, if you could do one, you got to do it all the way.
You know what? There's an easy solution to this. Easy solution. No competition.
Simple as that.
No competition.
Let's go have a good time.
Yeah, let's no competition.
Call it a day.
Why you laughing, Friday? No competition.
Call it a day. Call it a day.
Whatever you
But
do,
once you have a competition, then there must be rules and they must be abided by, and we have to do everything within our power to ensure fairness for every single person and group on those parades.
The fire got to be closer to some people and not as close to some other people.
No, you can't tell me. You can't tell me that a group is penalized and they go to the IRC. They are able to prove the point that the penalty was unjustly given to them. But yet you tell me, oh, the IRC is the final authority, but they're wrong according to what is being penalized.
They're wrong according to the rules.
Exactly.
I can prove it.
And the organization don't step in?
I can prove it because it happened in the last 6 years.
All right. That's all I'm saying. The question.
So no competition.
The question we have to ask is one of the questions we have to ask is, are we willing to do what it takes? That's the question. Are we willing to do what it takes? Because some feathers could be ruffled. Some people could be upset. You understand? But are we willing to do as an organization that governs this, are we willing to do what it takes? Because right now, Arlene saying Junkanoo is under attack. We have a lot of people who saying that. The question is, are we going to sit here and just say, oh, it's under attack and do nothing? Or are we going to look the bull in the face and say, you know what, we could change some stuff? Some people could be upset. But this ain't about us. It's about keeping this craft, the uniqueness that we have for it, or we just can sit back and say, oh, I ain't doing nothing.
Remember last week, or was it week before last? And Arlene is absolutely right, because I've heard, you know who also said it? Dwayne Ellis and I had a conversation about it some time ago, that after this generation of Junkanoos, I'm not sure what we can have. Right? I ain't sure what we can have. So that's why understanding what we have now, what we have lost, and trying to protect it is so important.
Yeah.
Because we are at a very critical stage in Junkanoo, how we define it, how we live it, how we understand it, and what we're gonna do with it. And with that, we get into our break. See you on the other side of the break.
Behavior artists. We want it all. Old music, new music, sweet calypso, and your slow grooves. We want your rake and scrape and even your R&B. We want it all. Send your music to zmusic242@gmail.com. Attach your bio and contact information and make sure your format is MP3. That's zmusic242@gmail.com. zmusic242@gmail.com. This Wednesday, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., the Wake Up Bahamas show will be on the moon. Come go with me, the one and only Hope Shelley, as we broadcast live from the National Art Gallery of the Bahamas, West Hill Street. On March 24th, the National Art Gallery of the Bahamas will host the opening of Kendra Forup's Mind Career Exhibition, The Whimsical Collector, at your favorite museum. Tune in to 1540 AM, 104.5 FM, the national voice of the Bahamas, broadcasting live this Wednesday, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. from the National Art Gallery of the Bahamas. Don't you dare miss it.
Wow, and now for news off the shack wall. We want to send out a special happy birthday to the way we opened the show. Arlene, we want our cake and conch salad and fritters. Happy birthday to everybody that celebrated a birthday in the past week and everybody that's celebrating a birthday in the upcoming week. March is, a heavy month. You know, like they say, it's time to march forward. Boy, y'all got a lot of pressure going on right there. in that, we want to give a special condolences out to anybody that's lost a loved one, and especially the young lady that's in the media right now. Especially special prayers for her children, her special family members that are affected by this. And we would like to say, I got one more announcement. There's something. Oh, y'all talking about sports? Bastian, get your gloves. Somebody having a softball tournament. There's a softball panorama slow pitch tournament March 19th. And guess what? Ooh. Junkanoo group's playing, buddy. It's going to be at the Blue Hill Sporting field starting 10 a.m. You got Genesis playing, Saxons playing, the Valley Boys playing. This is going to be a complete softball panorama. Y'all come and check it out March 19th starting at 10 a.m. They also having an open home run derby. Bastian, you get any home runs or you just playing?
Panorama. How many groups involved?
We got 3 groups that are listed here on the flyer.
That should be a ballerama.
That's what they have going on.
I hope it goes well.
Yep. So that's the news off the shack wall right now.
Awesome. Anyway, so what have we concluded from this discussion? No competition.
Oh, we have. I just picked up another announcement.
What's that?
Okay, here we go. This is from Barabbas. Fantastic Friday. Games from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Friday only. Games night. Super Saturday, Sip and Paste at 6 p.m. Join us for one or both fun-filled evenings, food, fun, and family. For more information and to reserve a table, contact 242, write it down, 356-5846, 356-5846, and that will connect you to number 5, Horseshoe Drive. Remember now, games night, 6 p.m. That's your fantastic Friday games from 6 to 10 on Friday. And your Super Saturday begins at 6 again. That's with the Sip and Paste. Please go down and support and have yourself a good time. Carry your whole crew and enjoy.
Folks,
that's it.
It is March 12th. Don't let nobody fool you. We get in the Bay Street, yeah? We are 40 hopeful weeks away from Bay.
Hold on. What you mean hopeful? If we gain, how we can be hopeful?
Listen, man. I gain even if I gotta walk down there with my drum by myself.
3 times is the law. We ain't going through this a third time. I tell you this. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are just about at the end of our show, and we have been having a very stimulating conversation, continuing this theme of what do we need to fix before we get back to the parades. And this morning, we decided to focus on judging, and we have been having a very not only stimulating and powerful conversation, but a very important one. And so we really hope that these brilliant recommendations that have been made by all of us will be taken, heed will be taken, and that they will perhaps be implemented. That one, I forget who it was who made the comment going back to the judges' training about the virtual tour of the shacks. You know, in this day and time, there's so much that you can do virtually. I don't know to what extent video, and I know I always do a PowerPoint. I don't know to what extent video is included in the training of the judges. Darren, when you were doing whatever you were doing, did you have a video where you were able to pause it and say, now this what should not happen and this should happen?
Not quite. We actually discussed doing that, and we actually discussed doing it, but time didn't afford us an opportunity to.
Yeah.
But clearly, as we move closer and closer to the judges' course, if we have competition this year, and it affords us some opportunity to do some things.
You know,
in actuality, perhaps, and this brings up another point, because the video has to be obtained from somewhere. And this is where an organization like the Broadcasting Corporation can also be involved with it, because it then gives the Junkanoo presenters an opportunity to go back to old tapes and help to build their presentations.
Yes.
And the Broadcasting Corporation can automatically become more of a sponsor or supporter of Junkanoo through the footage it provides, and maybe help with some editing of presentations.
Yeah,
so
if we serious.
I think it'll give them a stronger foothold into this thing called Junkanoo.
Absolutely, I agree. And if we are serious, we really need to prepare those tapes. You know, Silbert had said that some time back, and that's where his idea came from for the Parade of Champions, that, you know, for the judges training course, you need to put together different presentations of groups that won, to show, you know, what excellence is, and also to point out other flaws as well. So there's nothing like seeing it so that you are more prepared.
Yep, totally agree. Totally agree. 100%. 100%.
Boy, we people don't understand the work that is needed to bring this where we wanted to bring it to. You asked, what have we concluded today? One of the things that has been resonating over and over is that we need a standardized manual for the judges' course when it comes to training. And like Arlene said, even if it needs to be amended or updated year to year, or as changes made, it needs to happen. And we need this manual, whereas anybody can look at it and say, you know, what are they trained on in costuming? You know, what is the outline? What is the curriculum like? So they can see this information, and we don't have to need anything to haphazardly as to what somebody's looking at or what they're supposed to be judging on. I think that's something that really needs to be taken seriously.
And we also had several recommendations about how we select our judges. The one about the physical competence of judges, I think, is a very important one, and we need to make a note of that, whether it's a certificate of health or whatever it is, to show that you can withstand the grueling experience of being on your feet all night. And there was something else. Oh, and in terms of the selection of the judges, we are still talking about that. And, you know, the question as to whether or not they need to have any particular skills, and whether they will continue to be randomly assigned, or their skills applied to a particular area, or a combination of both. So that discussion continues to this day.
100%.
Yeah. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to a close. Gentlemen, final words, that's it?
Final words.
We have a lot of work to do, but we are capable of doing it.
Amen. And where there's a will, there's a way. That's the important thing. We have to want it to happen, and then we will make it happen. Yes. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for Junkanoo 242 for this beautiful Saturday, March the 12th. We thank you so much for being in the E-Shack with us this morning. As always, it has been our privilege. And until next week, remember now, this is Junkanoo 242. It's all about you wherever you are in this beautiful 242. And Trevor, you too in Atlanta. And until next week, stay safe, practice all safety protocols, and remember to let everything that we do prove beyond the shadow of a doubt that we are all proud
to be with him.
See you next week.